sales story is designed to be engaging and persuasive, capturing the attention of the customer and convincing them that the product or service is worth investing in. A power statement is a concise statement that communicates the unique value proposition of a product or service. It typically highlights the key benefits that the customer will receive from using the product or service and may include specific data or statistics to back up those claims. A power statement is often used as a quick pitch or elevator pitch to capture the attention of potential customers and encourage them to learn more. The goal of a power statement is to communicate the value of the product or service in a clear and compelling way that resonates with the customer's needs and desires. Now let's dig into one of your greatest sales weapons, which is your sales story. Why does your sales story matter? Well, once you have painted a very clear picture of your ideal customer profile and your ideal customer persona, you will have a North Star to drive towards as you prioritize your target company list and build your contact list at those companies. Next, you can bring all of what you learned together and build what is referred to in New Sales Simplified as a sales story. A compelling, differentiated, client-focused story is a prerequisite for new business development success and your greatest sales asset that you can continually draw from. It gives you as a seller a sense of pride and confidence that sets you apart from the competition, packages your offering, gets the prospect's attention, and positions you and your company as experts, value creators, and problem solvers. Your sales story is your ultimate sales weapon, which will weave itself into every kind of customer outreach and interaction imaginable. It will weave itself into your cold calls, your cold emails, your LinkedIn profile messaging, your voicemails, and your discovery calls. And even in your presentations as account executives and directors will be characterized by bits and pieces and variations of your story. A strong sales story makes everything in sales easy, and you change the dynamic of how prospects perceive you because you lead with things that matter to them. If you don't have a good sales story, then it will result in a lack of confidence and conviction and inability to win new business. Before diving more specifically into what a powerful sales story looks like and how to build it, let's talk about why storytelling matters. So why is storytelling the most powerful form of communication? According to Craig, who we mentioned before, the founder of the Kellogg Northwestern School of Management Sales Institute, and a 3-time founder and CEO, he claims that storytelling is the most powerful form of communication in new business and in life. I really do encourage you to buy his book if you haven't. There is a huge body of research that spans over 5 to 6 decades from the social science, psychology, and neuroscience that tells us that stories are anywhere from 2 to 50 times more powerful than any set of facts, and the research generally settles around 6 to 7 times more powerful. Everyone has a bunch of facts, and yet they don't always differentiate you. According to Craig, stories do 2 things really well that other forms of communication don't. First, they create context, meaning they set the stage, and they connect with emotion, drawing the prospect in and opening up the opportunity to influence. If you're about to make a cold email, send a cold email, or walk into a meeting, what is the most important thing you can bring with you? Not a bunch of facts, but a story. So let's look at the characteristics of a great sales story. First of all, it's others-oriented and leads with client problems. An effective sales story is not a self-focused, "I'm so great" message about your company. Self-focus is the most common mistake in building one sales story, and it bores and turns off the customer. We need to get it through our heads. It's not about us. No one wants to spend time with someone who's only talking about themselves. Prospects aren't interested in what we do, they are interested in what we can do for them. Here is a simplified example of a sales story that would turn prospects away, which should help you understand what not to do when building your story. We do this and that. We have been in the business for 29 years, and we're the best in the industry. Our people are our most valuable resource, and we have a unique process and superior quality, and our customer service is outstanding. As you can tell, that story is all about we, and honestly all about me. A strong sales story is others-oriented and customer-centric and shows a high degree of empathy toward the customer's situation, which will help break through the prospect's indifference or negative response. Leading with pains, problems, and opportunities and results are in the mind of the customer and is the key to increasing the power of your story and getting more meetings. The customers have problems they want to have solved and pains they want removed, risks and liabilities mitigated, and there are better results they want to achieve, and your story should hit on those hot buttons. Take it a step further and tailor your story to each account by communicating with their words, and by choosing those words, you demonstrate commitment to their success. A strong sales story is also realistic and has integrity. This might be obvious, but your story should not be exaggerated or inflated, but be consistent and based in reality and integrity. If you exaggerate, then prospects can sniff that out, and even if you do get the meeting or sale, the customer will end up being disappointed, and you'll hurt all parties if you underdeliver and don't meet those expectations. Finally, a strong sales story communicates how you are differentiated. Customers are hearing from a million salespeople selling similar products. It's important to share specific areas where you are differentiated and clearly communicate how you address customer pain points better than your competition. This is where you share your special sauce about what makes you unique. There are 3 building blocks for a strong sales story, and this is the foundation. A client-focused sales story should be 1 or 2 minutes and pique a prospect's interest enough to begin a sales dialogue. And it consists of 3 building blocks. Building block 1 is client issues should be addressed. This could include customers' pains you remove, client problems you solve, opportunities you help them capture, and results you help them achieve. Leading with client issues is important because it makes the pitch relevant and catches their attention, lowers their sales defenses, and sets you up as a professional problem solver versus a product pitching sales rep that all customers try to avoid at all costs. Clients will open up to be in problem-solving mode with you, and then you aren't in confrontation but working on the same side of the table. Leading with pain points is also critically important because it can disqualify a prospect if they are not a good fit for you, so that you can free up your time to focus on customers that really are a good fit that do have a pain. Problem solvers aren't looking to achieve a different result. If problem solvers aren't looking to achieve a different result, then why would they buy? If there's no issue, there's no sale. Building block number 2 simply states what you sell. This is the service, solution, or product for which you will build a customer. Although you will need to state what you do, it should be the shortest part of your sales story, and it should never come first because leading with what you do makes the customer think you're a commodity. Leading with what you do is what every average salesperson does, and what the prospect will say, oh, you do that? We already have that. Building block number 3 is your differentiators. Explain how your company is different and better than any other alternative. Ask yourself, why are we the best suited to address the initial client issues presented? Saying what others are saying won't get a prospect to set time with you. Differentiation is what gets people to listen. By breaking through the noise of many similar messages, it builds intrigue and opens the door to expand dialogue. However, just like stating what you do, don't lead with or start with differentiators because they are still about us, and you need to be about what's best for the customer. Use your sales story building blocks to build out your own. Now let's start with the building blocks themselves, your power statement. A power statement is the equivalent of an elevator pitch or value proposition and combines the 3 building blocks of your sales story under a headline and transitional phrase. Ultimately, you can take parts and pieces of your sales story and power statement as you see fit and use in customer outreach and interactions. So here's the architecture of a power statement. First, start off with your headline. A headline is a 1 or 2 sentence introduction to provide context on what your company does and helps place you in a better category so prospects can better digest your story. For example, my own company, Dell Technologies, is a technology partner that helps clients transform their business from the edge to the core of the cloud and is uniquely positioned as a single vendor who can help with any IT teams execute faster in the market. The next part of your power statement is your transition statement. It couches your strongest selling points as if it's a testimonial coming from your best clients. A transition statement could look like, manufacturing companies turn to us when, or senior IT executives turn to us when. For my company, I could say, technology influencers who are committed to finding the right long-term solutions turn to us when. The third part of building a power statement is hitting on client issues, pains removed, problems solved, and results achieved. In this section, you list 3 to 7 issues you address in conversational and bulleted format and describe them with proactive or emotionally charged words. At a high level, you might say, companies are striving to achieve result 1. They're frustrated from dealing with pain 2 and ready to take action. They're under significant pressure to eliminate problem 3. They're committed to accomplishing result 4. They have had it with pain 5. They're facing threats or regulatory pressure from issue 6. And they are finally tired of living with problem 7 and want to tackle it. For my segment at Dell, I might say software companies turn to us when proactively striving to achieve the most efficient architecture possible and eliminate technical roadblocks to growth. When they have a sneaking suspicion that they're spending more on cloud than they should be and are committed to finding new opportunities to save money, or when they are seeking to understand a new Dell technology service that might benefit them and simplify their vendor footprint. Now, the next piece of building your power statement. Describe what you sell in a few sentences, being careful not to embellish or oversell. This is the least compelling part of your story, but important nonetheless. For example, with my company, we provide a lot of solutions. A few are integrated multi-cloud and technical hardware solutions, end-user client devices and workstations, and service teams that help you deliver projects on time proactively and monitor and maintain your cloud infrastructure. Finally, in your power statement, you want to bring it home with differentiators. You need a strong list of 5 to 7 reasons why you are the best choice to address the client issues you describe. You can use the transitional statement like we continue to grow in the space because we are different from what you typically find in the marketplace and list off differentiator 1, differentiator 2, differentiator 3, you get it 4, 5, etc. For example, for my company, I might say Dell has been growing rapidly in the unstructured data market because we're the only technology vendor recognized on the Gartner Magic Quadrant for 6 years in a row, most recently as a visionary in the unstructured data solution space for the number of global customers we support with this technology. We're comprised of leaders from high growth and established enterprise companies that have advised as CTOs and CIOs who have intimately understood the journey of a startup from seed to Series A, B, C rounds and beyond. Because we have a sales and pre-sales engineering teams that include these resources, we are able to help clients grow over the long term. Note, if your organization solves a very commonly defined problem with many competitors like Dell Data Center Solutions, you can focus just on a few core problems and include more differentiators to set yourself apart in a sea of competition. So if your company has a lot of products, find the differentiators of the ones you are specifically selling. Don't underestimate that the sales team and customer service is often one of the most important differentiators for your company as well. And the fact that the sales experience is one of the biggest reasons prospects buy from one vendor over another. Providing a superior customer experience is 100% in your control, and by taking complete ownership of how you make the customer feel and how quickly you execute can be the difference between getting a PO or not. And for some senior salespeople like myself that work in tandem with engineering teams, partners, product specialists, and many others, own the customer experience. It's okay to outsource, but hold your counterparts accountable to a high standard and make sure everything is done right and on time. So let's talk about the process for building your sales story and power statement. It can be a messy process, but the result is worth your time and energy. Write down any ideas you have on client issues and pain points you solve, results you help achieve for top customers, your services, and your differentiators. Just brain dump all of that on paper. It's easier to delete your bad ideas later on and refine them. And remember, progress over perfection. Look at your customer-facing and internal marketing materials and top case studies that you find and ask yourself, what are the common threads, the business problems faced, outcomes achieved for our top customers? We did this before when defining our ICP, so you probably have a lot of this at your disposal already. Of course, set up time with your account executives, your leaders, and ask them these questions about your top customers. What pain does the customer experience by choosing to stay with the wrong provider? What problems do they face by trying to do things themselves versus outsourcing? What opportunities might they miss or results might fall short because they are not our customer? What is the opportunity cost of them not working with us? How would you simply describe our services? Or in other words, what do customers pay us for? How are we different? This might include your culture, your values, your technical capabilities, your own unique processes, and service level guarantees. So let's go over a real world example of a power statement from my company, which we'll hit on bullet by bullet and piece by piece. Although the power statement below is very context specific to my company and the niche we fit into and the customers we sell to, hopefully the concepts of having a headline transition statement, pain points and outcomes, and differentiators are brought to life through this example. As you onboard at your company, it will be up to you to study your own ICP and the unique context of the industry you sell into and infuse that into this framework headline. So let's dive into the power statement for my own company. Dell Technologies is a technology partner that helps clients transform their business from the edge to the core to the cloud and is uniquely positioned as a single vendor who can help any IT team execute faster in their market. Early stage startups up to enterprise companies who are committed to finding the right long-term solutions turn to us when they are proactively striving to achieve the most efficient architecture possible and eliminate technical roadblocks to growth. When they have a sneaking suspicion that they are spending more on cloud than they should be and are committed to finding new opportunities to save money. When they're seeking to understand new Dell Technologies services that might benefit them and simplify their vendor footprint. Dell has been growing rapidly in the unstructured data market because we're the only technology vendor recognized on the Gartner Magic Quadrant 6 years in a row, most recently as a visionary in the unstructured data solutions market for the number of global customers we support with this technology. We're comprised of leaders from high growth and established enterprise companies that have advised as field CTOs, CIOs, and intimately understand the journey of a startup from seed to Series A, B, C rounds all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Because we have a sales and pre-sales engineering team that includes these resources, we are able to help clients grow over the long term. You are not going to use this full sales power statement in every interaction, but now that you have it completely built out, you can pull bits and pieces when you need them on cold emails, outreach, cold calls, LinkedIn messaging to be effective and make sure you pull the right arrow from your quiver at the right time.